Yo guys, what up? Today a little bit late. Actually, I wasn't going to do this, but then I said, no, I am going to do this. Just got home from work. If you guys are new here, I'm going to be quickly going through how I make $5,000 a year through my Blender Octane community. If you guys are new to Blender Octane, I do have a free Octane 101 guide that will get you up and started by the end of tomorrow. If you were to do it all the way through, and you'll be ready to go and how to use Octane Blender. If you're new here, first thing first, I'm going to go through YouTube comments to answer some of you guys' questions. Then I'm going to talk about a little bit of the strategy that I'm using to build my community here on the school platform. And then I'll go through growth stats on this channel. So I've actually really went through growth stress this morning. Again, today I had to go to work extremely early, so it isn't extremely late now. It's already almost about 10 p.m. I just finished work. And excuse me, reason why I do this is to build discipline, guys. Like I didn't want to do this, but here I am. I showed up, right? And that was the hardest part, was hitting record and starting here. So first thing first, let's go ahead and answer some of the questions. We're going to do this kind of quickly. You can hear my daughter and my wife in the background, but that's not going to stop me. So, lots of people want to wait to the perfect time. When is the perfect time, right? There is no perfect time. You'll be waiting for your whole life. You're waiting for the perfect time to do something. So let's spin. This is going to be quite a little bit shorter than normal. Let's go through the comments here. Quick comment. First comment came in 9 hours ago. Blender Octane lighting tips for the real world scale. It sounds like a simple practice, but it's really important to keep in mind. Absolutely. What I was talking about was I did a quick reel, and I talk about like how you need to manage the distance between your lights. Like you got to realize like the default scene in Blender is huge. It's like meters, right? So like for me, I turn that meters to feet so I can have, because I'm from the US, so we're like the only ones in the world who use feet. But so I can have a realization of how far these lights are really sitting off. If that light is 25 feet away, when I'm trying to light a small product the size of a phone, why would I have a light 25 feet away? Like this light that I have here that's lighting me is like literally less than 2 feet away. So like you need to keep those type of thoughts in real world and translate those into 3D, especially in Octane, and really pretty much any render engine. It's good to always have real world values because the lights behave better. Everything interacts a lot more better, except for physics and Blender. For some reason, you got to make them like gargantuan, right? So, yeah, definitely take a look at that. I'm glad we're able to help you with that. Glad to hear that's exciting for you. Good. I'll move. Is there a way to update Blender without having to redo the startup files, the startup file and setup? Yeah, it's just like you do with normal Blender. You just save your startup file, and honestly, like Octane just already, not even Octane, but just Blender knows my previous startup file, and every time when I install a new version, it just asks me, do I want to bring that back? And I say yes. So I can't, I don't know if I can recreate that for you at the moment here, but like anytime I go and I install a new version of Blender, it asks me, do I want to bring back my other setup? And I say yes. So if you do not already have a startup file, like this is my startup file. For those of you guys that get also in the community, we have the Blender startup kit, Blender Octane startup kit. It's free to download for those in the community. But like you come here, you go to defaults, and then right here, save your startup file. Once you save that, that actually saves a startup file. I forgot exactly where that's sitting at. Hang on, let me see if I can find it. Your Blender startup file named startup.blend is located within the config directory of your specific Blender version on your operating system. This directory contains a blah, 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 blah for preferences. Here is the code for it. So if you look here, username, app, roaming, Blender Foundation. Let me quickly go check real fast here on my other screen here. We're going to go to, what did it say? C. Hang on real quick. Let me get that dialed in. All right, so here I am, Blender Foundation. I'm using Blender Octane, but it should work for the standard Blender. 4.4 configuration. There it is. There's that file right here. So this is where it stores it. So anytime I basically update it, it asks me if I want to reinstall this, and then boom, So that's how it basically works for me. That shouldn't be a particular Octane or a that's just a Blender thing, period. So it doesn't really matter what engineer. So take a look at that. Hopefully that should help you out. Let's get back to where were we? Where were we? Hope that helps you out there. Man, the only problem with Octane is that it is unstable and the render are just so freaking long compared to cycles. Blender Octane out of the box is not completely optimized for speed. It's actually more optimized towards realism. So it takes, like, one thing was the GI clamp was set to 1 million. 1 million means it's basically not clamping. It's giving you as much render samples as it possibly needs, or not render samples, but it's wide open. It's like wide open. So that's why it takes longer. You really need to, like, it's like, the best analogy is like, you've got cycles, which is like your family sedan, and then you jump into Octane and it's like you're jumping into a Bugatti Veyron. You can't just go in and turn the key and start it. Like, there's procedures and there's steps that you need to do to get that thing fired up. And that's kind of like how it is with Octane. And like, to get those render settings and everything optimized, you got to tweak some stuff out of the box. But then once you save that, you're ready to go. That's why I built the Blender Octane startup kit in our community here, which allows you to basically, everything is all set up for you. Like, all you have to do is just turn the key and fire it up. I've got a whole crew that's already primed the oil. The oil's up to temperature and everything, just using that analogy again, right? But that's basically it. So like, literally, you come into my school community here, right here. This is the Octane Blender Starter Kit. What's this thing do? Check it out. Real camera lens setup already set up for you, dialed in with depth of field. Depth of field is already on and everything. HDR environment plus 3-point lighting setup already built. Optimized render settings with presets for high-end GPU, low-end GPU. Octane default camera imager is already set up with the proper ACES tone mapping and exposure setup. We got essential AOV passes. They're all set up and ready to go. Pre-built materials. I got a PBR material for you. All you have to do is drag in the images. I've got a glass material, emission, and subsurface pre-built materials already in the file. Custom workspace, scene assets, shadow catcher floor, cyclorama backdrop, seamless backdrop, all that ready to go. Like, literally, boom. I jump into my file. Here it is. Like, you wanted the render passes. Boom. There's all the render passes. They're all set up, ready to go. Go into shading. There's the preset files right here. If you want glass, you want subsurface, you want emission, you want a PBR setup, drag this PBR setup on here. Wait for it. Boom. There it is. So now everything's ready to go. All I have to do is plug in my normals, the lights, and all that stuff. So those are just some of the perks that you get when you join the community. And let's get back to another question here. Okay. Hi, really useful question though. What is wrong with the universal material in general, or just for glass? Just interested to know why you use the specular instead of the universal. The reason why I use the specular versus the universal, one, preference, and then two, like, if I know that I'm just going to be working on a glass material, why have all that other stuff if I don't need that? Like, I know I'm going to work on, I'm making a glass bottle. I'm just going to use spectral because that's, or sorry, I already had like half a glass of wine here. But like, if you know you're going to make a metal shader, why would you use a glass shader and convert it to a metal shader? Kind of something like that. So the universal material is kind of like the Uber Machetes, like the principal BFD. But if you know you're going to make glass and like, you're going to do glass, just go straight for the glass shader. So that's why I do that. And then it also, I think we get some benefits as far as render time because I'm using that. Let me quickly check that. Let me ask my bot really fast here. We also have a Blender Octane bot that we've been training here. And it's almost been a year and a half now that it's gotten over 1,000, almost over 1,000 questions asked for it. So it's getting a good feel of Blender Octane, and I've trained it on the Octane manual, Octane website. Let me ask it here quickly. If I want to make a glass jar, what's the difference between using a universal material or a spectral material. I can't say the word. What is it? What is the word? Spectral? Not spectral. Um, I can't think right now. Sorry, guys. I just finished work. I'm tired. I'm freaking tired. I didn't even. Okay. Why is this so slow? Oh, there it goes. It's kicking in. That's a chat GPT thing. Spectral material. I'm probably saying that wrong, but I don't care. For okay, use that for accurate glass caustics and dispersion. Universal material is faster, flexible controls with decent realism. There you go. So the universal is faster, but the glass is more accurate. So again, if I'm going for a glass jar and I want that accuracy and realism, go straight for that. Okay, so there you go. That's what it says. All right, guys. I need to I need to get ready to eat and stuff. Let me quickly go through. So today, what did I do? Today, building strategy, talking about here in public. Today, early in the afternoon, because I had to be to work so early, I decided not to do this recording, which I'm doing now. And I went back to work on my automated system to really fix out the comments and or not the comments, the what was I gonna say? Dang it, I lost train of thought. The thumbnail system that I'm building, the thumbnail and title system that I'm building, that automated to help me. So like it takes my videos, like hopefully this thumbnail that you guys saw for this video and the title you saw for this video were much better. Because what I do is, again, I take my videos, I put them in DaVinci Resolve, take the transcript from my video, put them into my database system here. And my database system, I've kind of talked about this before, it does different things. Like each one of these rows does something different, like Instagram captions, short script, I want a blog, or I want a tweet, or an Instagram carousel, or Instagram reel, or all kinds of other stuff I've added in here, right? So what I recently did was, this is the newest edition, the thumbnail. I'm using these ChatGPT models to help me take it transcribes my video, my text, and then it's like, okay, it researches a great hook for it, or a thumbnail hook for it, and then it generates a title, and then it generates text for that title, and then it bullet point summarization, and then it makes a description, YouTube description. And this is just to help me to knock these videos out as quick as possible, because I don't want to spend 20 minutes coming up with a thumbnail and a title, right? So it knows what I'm talking about in the video, so it's using automation to help save time. So I separated it. Before, it would do all this in one hit. It would do this and generate the text, the image, all in one hit. Now today I broke it down and got it to where now it generates me like 5 titles, 5 texts, 10 texts that I want to put on the thumbnail, and allows me to choose, which I'm so excited. It allows me to choose what I want. So this is the input portion of it. So for example, the one I was testing today, it comes here. Here are all the based off the video script, which is right here. Let me open this up. It saves it to a Google Doc. This is like, yo guys, another daily report sharing my blah, 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 right? This is my video script, the transcript right there. Okay. That's the actual source is me. There's nothing being, false. It's me. So then from there, it gives me a selection of, hey, these are some titles we recommend from basically off of that. And I use ChatGPT. I tell ChatGPT some, very detailed instructions of what I wanted to look for, and the results I get back. And then here's all the titles that it gave me. And then I basically can choose whatever title I want for the video. And then the text that goes on the thumbnail, it used to choose one and then automatically generate it. And then I didn't like that, because sometimes it would be off, or it'd be a little bit weird, and I've already had some people comment, hey, this is kind of clickbaity, what's going on here? And it was because it was choosing. Now I tell it, okay, what I like this one. Why is it almost let's do this one. Avoid these driver issues. So I can copy this. Now I can input this in right here for text to thumbnail. I'll go ahead and input that in there, right? And then I can come over here and tell it, okay, I can choose the backdrop that I want, because I have these custom templates that I've already made. Thumbnails, basically me and a space on there. So I can choose it. I want to do the talking, the talking thumbnail, the taking notes thumbnail. Okay, so it's going to be that's going to be the template. and then I'll come over here and then I'll say, okay, select, and then now I can say, hey, I want you to make a YouTube thumbnail. And now that's going to come over here and that's going to fire off a command. I don't think it's going to do it right now because I'm inside of it. So I need to hit play. I probably should have hit play before. Let me quickly just hit play. Now it's waiting for the signal, right? Now it's waiting for the signal. Let me come back here and re-trigger that. I'll come back here. Oh, it already, actually, no, it already cooked it out. Sorry. It was running. So now I'll come over here. Avoid these driver issues. Now it's more in line of what I can choose from. And like, I'm super happy. Like it took me all day during my lunch break to do this, but now it's ready. And then once I get to this point, I just literally just take this, I download this image, and then I take, okay, so we've got that for the thumbnail, and then my title, avoid these Blender crash mistakes, right? That connects it a lot more better. So that's it for that. And that's what I kind of did today. And then quickly jumping over to, oh, my wife and my daughter are killing me right now with their voices. All right, quickly going through this. Stats for the channel today. We are at 220, 822, 25. We no new members at the moment, 31. Making 472 a month. I had 92 people visit my about page today, which was down a little bit. Not that bad, but whatever. We have a churn rate of 6.9 because we did lose a couple members here in the past days. And then as far as YouTube stats, today we gained 9 subscribers at 448. 448, right? And average view duration stayed the same, 1.52. No change in that. And then click-through rate is still 3.1. So no change there. And the second channel is still holding steady at 13 subscribers. So, all right, guys. Got through another video. I didn't want to do it, but I did it. Just building that discipline, putting in the work. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace. See ya.